It's like 52% in pro level pubs, which is, I mean, that's good. Like, that's pretty good for how much he gets picked. But I even still think, like, a lot of people pick this hero, and it's hard, man. It's a high skill hero. Like, if you get caught out by a Tiny, you just die. You just die in, like, an instant. He's, like, such a low armor hero. But you never lack damage if you have a Skye, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think of him in terms of being able to harass very nicely. The fact that he does do so much burst damage right off the bat once he gets that level 6 as well. I know, though, there's a couple people, though. I know Fogged is one of those that has talked in the past saying that, you know, the problem with Skywrath Mage is that his ultimate is just so easily dodgeable if you get yourself any sort of, like, a Force Staff or something like that.
You know what? With Fogged, it's always problem this, problem that. Listen, every hero's got problems. If you didn't have something that could counter the hero, it's 70% win rate. You know, so there's a lot of great setup for him this game. No matter what lane he goes to, he's got setup. You have a CK stun, you have Mars, you have Bane. So I think we're good. And on this side, we have a Tiny Grimstroke lane. Speaking of setup, lots of stun and damage between those two heroes.
Do you remember there's this one guy who sits in Twitch chat all the time, and every time that Grimstroke gets picked up, he talks about what an abysmal win rate that this hero has within, like, pro matches.
He does. I mean, that's...
Shout out to that guy, keeping the tabs, keeping the numbers going.
Yeah, that guy is right. That guy is right about the win rate, but I don't know. It feels like if you have coordination, it's actually a really good hero. What do they have to, like, combo with it this game?
I mean, you
Not
can
really.
Maybe the Pango. You know, you send the Pango in and, like, have him with the Inkswell or Timber Chain sort of thing.
Yeah, they have like the Inkswell combo, but it's always really nice when you have both. You know, when you have something to also combo with the ulti. Like, that's why Doom feels so good. They're actually gonna go for Skywrath, and for armor, he's dead.
Man, you were just talking up Skywrath Mage, but unfortunately, this time around, he is going to be the first blood, so a little bit of a curse coming out here from Jenkins.
Yeah. I mean, he is against Tiny. That is one of the more difficult heroes to play against, just because of the physical damage that he does. Like, we could see the tree damage there. It took him from, like, 10% HP to 0.
Oh, here we go. We've got that Inkswell combo. Not going to be able to connect, though. And Falcon's sitting a little bit too low. His Monster Kill's just going to chase after him over here. Needs another hit or so, but does have the salve. So it looks like he's going to survive as the chase is on over on the court. Bloody Massacre just barely going to survive. A lot of skirmishing going on in this bottom lane.
Yeah, they're doing very well in this lane between the Tiny and the Grimstroke. It is pushed out, but, like, Mars, just such low HP. And on the top lane, we see the same thing. Like, Dire, they're getting really pressured in both of these side lanes. This is not boding well because the mid lane is, you know, it's a Pango. He's going to run around. He's going to use his ult. He's always going to do kind of fine in this lane. It looks like they're kind of set up to have 3 solid lanes here.
I mean, the one thing that you do have to be concerned about, right, when you have this Pugna in the middle lane, is that if, you know, the Pango decides he's going to start moving around, he's going to go take that ultimate to another lane, you probably run the risk of having your tower taken, and the mid tower is super important. In fact, you go forced to pop that water rune here, so you got a little bit low. But you have to be mindful about that, and I'm almost wondering if they might rotate something over into the mid lane to the Pango instead of sending him off to the other lanes, because like you said, the other lane's going perfectly fine.
Yeah, you can. I mean, both of these supports, like, can set up for a Pango for sure. Like we talked about the rotation of the Skywrath to the lanes. Both of these supports on the other side also have good lanes to go to, like doing stun on top of the Pango, or like throwing an Inkswell on the Pango. Like, that will net you a kill. Is he gonna stack? No, there's no stacking action happening. Not too close to the minute mark. Just gonna walk back to base.
I mean, Mars is one of those heroes that, you know, can just stand here, isn't going to be, you know, too concerned at this point having the level 3 online, but does have to still be careful because they do have a pretty killer combo down here. And top lane, still pretty quiet. I mean, we've talked a lot about the Skywrath Mage, but can we talk about the fact we got a Funnick Timbersaw?
We do. And it's a pretty solid game for him. I mean, like, I know a lot of people will look at a draft like this and they'll see, like, a Skywrath Mage, a Pugna, and, like, yes, there are answers to the Timber. It's not a totally unanswered hero, which is when people used to pick it in Dota. But these days, it's kind of just like a really stable hero that you pick when you know that the lane is going to go well, and his laning is going great. As we see a rotation here to mid.
Oh, Mad Frog, is he gonna TP on time? No. That's a nice kill going over here to Russell, who is standing in for Noob today, I believe. So, good showing here from that stand-in, as we do end up losing that Skywrath Mage again here in the bottom lane. This is a very scary combo, and the harass coming out from these two is very much substantial.
Yeah, it looks like they're really getting punished for the kind of early feeds. Not even so much as like the deaths, just being harassed and like kept out of golden experience range. Like Tiny is having such a free game down here.
And that's very, very nerve-wracking in my opinion, because you look at this lineup that's coming out here from the Radiant, from Deboosters, and it is a very early sort of tempo setup. So if you can start getting this Tiny to accelerate early, it's going to prove to have a lot of problems.
Yeah, and Tiny is actually like he's in like the top 10 win rates on Dota buff for heroes against CK, presumably because as CK's illusions scale, Tiny's damage also scales in a cleave, so you can easily kill those illusions. You kill the illusions, all of a sudden CK's not so much of a scary hero. As I feel like P1's gotta go down to this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's out of position.
But I mean, that again, it's a little bit more space here for Pleb to go and hit creeps or just do whatever. A nice double avalanche, a toss up into the air on the Skywrath, but a good spear will ensure that monster kill will be fine. They're just gonna keep kiting Tiny right now. They've got the Ancient Seal, just keep him silent. But the rotation here from the Pango, Rolling Thunder will get used, and that will secure themselves a kill.
Yeah, that's why Pleb was being very aggressive there. He knew he had a Pango coming along. Pugna.
Like, this guy's always aggressive, though. Every time I watch him play, it's kind of his preferred way of choice, and for heroes as well, being very aggressive.
He's on a good hero for it. He is a good hero for it. I feel like Tiny is the type of hero that likes to actually be active.
It's another nice setup here with that Ink Swell again. It's a little bit tough to take down a Mars, but knowing that they have no more stuns, Blood Massacre is just going to be able to teleport away.
Good TP, but not... Honestly, not exactly what you want when you pick a Skywrath plus Mars lane. Like, you'd ideally like to be the one that's pressuring. Slaw, he goes bot, he uses the CK ulti. I don't think you can really do much.
I'm not sure what's going on, because we also have mid tower. They do connect with that bushwhack. They've got the Nightmare, and kind of interesting situation here, right? Because I talked about if the Pango decide to rotate, that tower is going to get ripped to shreds. But instead of watching, you know, Pango rotate, they've sent over several supports to the mid lane to assist the Pugna to help ensure that they can take the tower down a bit earlier. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, we have the classic 3v3 mid that always seems to happen when there's like a pushing type hero, and the thing with Pugna is like, yeah, just it gets denied. Like, there's nothing you can really do about it. I know a lot of people these days just kind of accept that Pugna is going to get the mid tower. Obviously, like, you want to delay it as much as possible, because as well as, like, you know, a Tiny, it's very similar type of hero where you see a lot of people making early rotations with the tree toss because it does so much tower damage. Like, you just know against certain heroes in Dota you're going to lose towers, and the best thing you can do is delay it. And like, these heroes are balanced in other ways, right? It's like, you know, maybe they're not the greatest at like team fighting, or they're like squishy like Pugna. Like, there are other ways that you can deal with them rather than stopping them from doing the thing that like the hero's designed to do. So you just accept it.
And, get a little bit of a pause, but we're seeing now, you know, they took the top tower. They have all of these heroes that were trying to put pressure on the bottom coming out from the side of Ooreedo. But now, Funnick, of course, he's a Timbersaw. Timbersaw is going to go over to that lane. He's going to protect the tower. He's going to continue to farm. And right now, like, they don't really have a good solution for Funnick. They're going to have to send quite a few heroes to try to deal with him, which will open up the map a lot more. I like this move that's coming out from them currently, but they do need to address, you know, you've got Pleb up here. He's got himself a nice deep ward over by the outpost, so he's pretty well protected. And then, of course, you've got the Scrabble over here in the mid lane.
Yeah, you can just, like, Deboosters, they basically just want to hold this bot tower for as long as possible. Unfortunately for them, they're playing against a Pugna. They lose the mid tower. But if they keep like 3 heroes mid and put effort into pushing that lane out, they have their Tiny farming top, they have Timber farming bot, then what that means is you're just consuming more camps on the map than the enemy team is. Like, you're going to get more gold, and you can see that reflected in the gold lead. But there are answers. Like Funnick is not unanswered at this point. Like the reason he's being the reason that he feels unkillable right now is because Skywrath Mage is not level 6. Once Sky's level 6, you can kill him with the Sky plus a stun. As long as he sees Pugna on the map, he doesn't have to be afraid. But now that he doesn't see Pugna, who's actually running towards him bot, he's got to be really careful. You can see what he's doing. He's just chakraming the wave and as far as possible away and bringing it back. Because he can die, for sure.
Sure, the supports, yeah, they've got their TPs if necessary. They can always go down if they see. In fact, they're not even going to go for the TP. They go for a cheeky smoke play. So we'll go wandering through. It's a good idea because they have placed up these aggressive wards over on the side of Ooreedo. They're going to see what they can make happen. Continuing to just see that chakram pushing out the wave here from Funnick. They do a little bit of long-range sieging. Rolling Thunder coming in comboed here with that Inksoul. They've got their eyes on Monster Kill. They've got the sides. They just cut down slowly, and they're going after Monster Kill. It's a great rotation coming out from Pangolier and the Grimstroke.
That was a nice combo that they pulled off. Like, he actually hit the Inksoul stun on both heroes. I don't know if you've ever done that before with the Pango, but it's really not easy comboing Rolling Thunder. Like, oftentimes you'll hit one hero with it because you can just focus on like bouncing back to them. But he actually hit both. Like, he kept the Inksoul on both of those heroes.
It's clearly a combination that these two have practiced. We've heard, our panel was saying they'll probably go for more of these comfort picks, and you can kind of see that experience here. But they do come back down immediately here. Coming out from the side of Ooreedo, they still really want that tower. They're putting a lot of effort into it. They're looking at Monster Kill here. Mad Frog also coming over. They'll smoke. Try to get a nice angle, get that little bit of the Sentry D ward off. Chakram continuing, but smoke's gonna pop. Except for over on the Pango. Doesn't have the Rolling Thunder for another 15 seconds. But perhaps, okay, the swashbuckle forward again. Oh, the Inksoul connects over onto 2. They've got their eyes on Russell. They'll take down Monster Kill. There's gonna be the Timber Chain forward, plus the Chakra, plus the Bushwhack. Just like that. Beautiful synergy coming out from the side of Deboosters. And now they have the Rolling Thunder up, so anybody who teleports down here needs to be very, very careful.
Yeah, this one move is like winning them this game right now. Holding the bot tower with all of their heroes and having their Tiny just farming top, like...
Oh no, oh, the CK! Bushwhack doesn't quite connect here. Funnick going for the Timber Chain forward. Doesn't want to give any sort of breathing room here for the CK. He's running through the trees. You can't hide from a Timber Saw in the trees. As all of the TPs come out, this is looking a little bit scary now for Mad Frog, who's going to try to scurry away. He's got Decrepified. He's going to... Oh, they whiff. They end up missing the arena. They still end up getting that little squirrel, though, as now Evo is running for his life. Does have the Inkswell. Will be able to make it out, but that is a lot of teleports, a lot of resources used for just a little support.
Yeah, not what you want to see. And I mean, it's the bot tower that they want when they're making these moves, right? It's like you don't want to be playing in your own triangle. That's supposed to be your safe haven. And it's like they're not even able to pressure like Pleb up here in this top lane, for example, because they have this pressure that's happening in the bot lane and in triangle to deal with first. So, Deboosters are doing a really good job at just like being absolutely obnoxious with their positioning.
This is like the one thing that's very concerning to me is the fact that we have not been paying attention to Pleb at all. He has had free reign of this top area. And they're gonna move I like the way the P1's playing here. He's throwing his body in just in case there's any smokes. Does run into the gank, so he's going to pay for it, but it's gonna allow Pleb plenty of time to just go and teleport away and continue farming.
Yeah, great positioning from P1. I mean, the entire game, the enemy team has not been up there, and to read the one time that they actually go to kill your Tiny is that's really solid. And now they just kind of flip the map. Pleb is now playing towards that bot lane. He's huge, man. I mean, he's gonna have his Aghanim shard if he wants it. He could probably even go for the full moon shard before he finishes the Aghanim shard.
Yeah, you have to wonder what the comms are sounding like right now over on Ooreedo, just because of the fact that it feels I don't want to say desperate, but they're really clumping together, moving as 5, trying to get any sort of pickoffs. But it definitely feels like Deboosters are reading them very easily here as Funnick goes forward. Is going to go pop the smoke. They'll get off some of these spells that they want. But there's the arena over to the side. Massacre landing it, and that's like we said, Funnick taking a lot of damage, but not quite enough to get the kill, as they'll end up losing skulls. Down will go Russell. They'll chase after Monster Kill. They've got the silence. They've got the Phantom's Embrace. It's going to slow him down, and they'll figure out yet another kill.
Yeah, this is a disaster for Ooreedo, man. Like, this is just not what you want. They walk up with the smoke. They almost get pleb. Like, he was just barely out of the range of the Bane Fiend's Grip. And then Funnick is the only one there. They don't really want to use their spells to kill supports because at this point, it's not worth it. So they try to use it on Funnick. But Funnick, he's got a lot of strength right now. He's got the Hood of Defiance. He managed to get that off. Even the trusty shovel in that fight is 75 HP. Like, he barely survived. This hero's super about these kind of thresholds where, like, they press everything on you and you don't die and then you barely survive and then regen up. And that's exactly what happened. That's a Timber's dream, you know, where everything gets used on you, you survive at 10% HP. That's the dream right there.
Can't discount that shovel. Definitely one of those things that a lot of people forget about with some of these neutral items, especially when they have an active. They do have, you know, other attributes that are
stats, yeah.
pretty important. Yeah.
Yep. He also, I think, had 21 charges. Like, he used a big one there, too. And if he dies, I think it is actually worth it just because Ooreedo are behind at this point. And Funnick is huge, so second on net worth, but you know, still, you want pleb. I mean, ideally you want pleb, but you'll take the second on net worth with how this game is going. Beggars can't be
Thunder
choosers.
in the bottom lane, chasing after Russell here. Be able to follow up with a nice bushwhack, just sip off it to the side. A swashbuckle will seal the deal. As you can see, Massacre is just gonna run back away to his tower, rejoin with skulls, because they don't want whatever else is about to be running at them here in this bottom lane.
You know, this is more like of a chill kind of map for Ooreedo, at least as we look at the replay. Let's see, did he have some wand charges? I mean, yeah, it's like he's so close to dying. Uses the wand, almost even dies to like the Pugna ward, and it's just enough that, like, what are you going to use on these other heroes if you've used your Fiend's Grip, your Pugna Suck, your Mystic Flare? Like, where's the rest of your damage coming from? Because it's not coming from CK right now. I can tell you that much.
Not yet, anyways. Though he's doing a decent amount of like farming, trying to find these spaces where he can get what he needs. Does have the armlet online. He's got the Oblivion Staff, but they are hunting him pretty.
Oh no, he ulted then disconnected. No.
God. Oh no.
That's not good timing. Oh my boy. I mean,
right. And it is right underneath the ward.
He did get scouted by that ward there. You are right.
That feels bad.
It's also scouting his Echo Saber about to arrive to him, but I think honestly that's probably a farming ult. I mean, he knows that there's people up here behind pleb. Like, you're not going to go for a solo play on a tiny with 2,000 HP right now as a CK. Like, that's just, I don't see that happening. So I feel like this is a farming ult.
if you're done with the game, but no, I don't think that's the case, like you said.
Maybe it's a desperation, like, let me just try to solo kill this guy as if nobody's behind him, but I seriously doubt that Slaw's going to go for that. We'll see, though. Maybe I'm caster cursing him right now.
Well, let's see. I think you back off, especially after a pause like that. No way. Yeah, he's just
farming
them into the jungle. That's the safe play here for sure.
Yep, which I like. I mean, there was that, like, you know, 3 or 4 minute period where Ooreedo just were not farming at all, just desperately trying to get that bot tower. And I think they've realized that, like, they're not going to be able to win a fight. They're not going to be able to just, like, run 5 men at a tower. Deboosters is going to fight them. They're going to actually put up some sort of defense and just farm. Just farm until you get some item timing. Farm until you can actually smoke and take a pick off. Like, take fights smarter.
Do a little bit of a scan over here by the Roche, but they do have nice Roche control over on the side of Deboosters. Should they decide that they want to go for it, I'm sure that's something that, you know, Ooreedo's a little bit concerned about because they're effectively just pushed out of their own jungle. They've got very small amounts of real estate to be able to allow the CK to farm. And, you know, this Mars has been struggling. He's getting closer to that Blink Dagger, but definitely, you know, feels like he's kind of been struggling this game to find these kills, get these arenas. that he's been looking for.
Yeah, this is not really an ideal Mars game. I feel like with Mars, if you fall behind and you're getting this like late blink dagger, it's really it feels like a support. You know, you feel like Winter Wyvern or something like that, where you're just kind of about that ultimate into spear, rather than being like, you know, the like an MR type Mars, where you're running around with like Satanic and Armlet.
Is
you're
there
actually
really
like
anyone else
carry.
like an MR type Mars though? Let's be really honest here.
Well, people do, like, people learn from that, right? Like, people try to play Mars like that ideally now. It's just that, like, this does happen if your laning doesn't go so well. But they're going to go for a smoke with the blink. Ideally, they want to take Pleb, or they want to get Evo here.
They don't want Funnick over there in the mid lane. Ignore him.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Russell scouting out. They drop the ward. Okay, there it is. It's beautiful. Get the spear off. They're gonna see what else they can do, but they need more damage. As Monsterkill's just taking too much damage from Pleb. They'll turn back around, and they get that little bit of a set off, but they'll lose Russell. Pleb, though, is not looking super healthy here. Might need a little bit more of assistance, but there it is. The sharpshooter coming through. We'll be able to take out the Chaos Knight. The buyback coming out from Skyrock, as now Bloody Massacre is forced to run away. Skulls, oh, he gets spotted out. Gets the brain sap off, though. We'll get Mad Frog, but does eventually fall to Funnick. It is looking like an absolute massacre, as Bloody Massacre is the only one to survive out of that.
Yep, surprisingly, he is the lowest net worth core, does end up surviving. They just kind of ignored him. They're like, all right, dude, you already Arena, you're worthless at this point. We're going to take out your CK, we're going to take out your Pugna. I mean, this Pango is just playing, like, insanely well. Like, he's just there in every single fight. With the roles, like between him and the Grimstroke, I feel like nobody else on Deboosters really needs to even do anything.
No, they've been
just winning every fight.
Just a great dynamic duo, the two of them being able to, you know, connect with the Rolling Thunder plus the Inkswell. Those silences have been on point, especially with the double silences coming out with having the Soulbind. Definitely looking very good over here, but they go over into the Roche Pit. It's like throwing me off seeing like the cool guys tag, seeing the Chillax tag. And just
I know,
like,
I know.
But they're Deboosters. But
same here.
you know, this Roche is going down pretty quickly, and they can't contest it over on the side of Ooreedo. They have to just let this happen, and that's the scary thing for them. Because this fight is coming to their doorstep, and they're not ready. They're not prepared for guests.
It is, and you're playing against a Tiny who is probably the best sieging hero in the game. I mean, I hate to say it because I feel like that's the part of him that's been nerfed, and it still feels like everything else buffed, right? That's the only part that got nerfed, and it still feels like he just takes your building so damn quickly. So it's not like you can just, you know, stall this game out, because if he wants to just start hitting your high ground with a BKB, you have to fight. And he is getting that BKB, so he's planning on going high ground. They read it. They read this.
Yeah, they do, and this is a decent amount of damage, but the Rolling Thunder again coming out from Eva again. Nice kill coming out from Funnick. So they get the Fiend's Grip off, though, over here on the side, so they will slow down the Pangolier just a little bit. Funnick also gonna take a bit of damage, has that Flamethrower Shard online, though. And they go for an immediate smoke play. They want to go back in. They know they've used a lot here. Mad Frog leading the charge, looking for the Bushwhack over onto Slav. Will be able to connect as they go. They drop the Avalanche, and they've got plenty of damage to take down. The CK's double Soulbind coming out here. Evo chasing after Russell and Skulls. Get the Decrepify off over onto the Pugna. Zipping right past in, though, past those towers. Funnick will be able to get himself yet another kill. This mid tower looking very juicy. Oh God, they go right back in the toss. Russell, you got way too greedy, my friend. What do you think you're doing? You're dead now.
That was an interesting kind of like fake back there, where Deboosters, when they started moving into like the tier 4s, they second guessed themselves. You know, they're like, okay, maybe this is a little too deep. And so when they turn around, it gives the Pugna this false sense of security that's like, oh, they're afraid. I'm going to turn around and go on them. Yeah, like they go for the dive here, but with the Decrepify, and I mean, that's the tier 4s. Like, I don't think you're that interested in going in there. They turn and they get killed for it.
Yeah, I was surprised that he decided to go back in, but like you said, it's that false sense of security. Man, look at Pleb. He's ready. He is so ready to go back in. Okay, Bloody Massacre, though, does find himself the Pangolier, so they should be able to go and burst him down. That is the arena gone, though, so They still have the Aegis online for Pleb. They can see exactly where he and P1 are, so they'll feel a little bit more confident now being able to walk into their jungle, continue to farm up over here on the CK, who's desperately trying to get that BKB.
Yeah, just ulting off cooldown to farm. They really need a BKB. I mean, this Pango's such a problem. I feel like the way that you fight right now for Ooreedo is either you catch the Pango at the start of the fight and kill him, or you don't fight at all. That's it. Like, you need the BKB. Otherwise, this Pango's way too much of a problem. And even then, I still think that Deboosters has such an advantage that you probably want to start a fight by killing the Pango. I mean, if you can kill the Tiny, sure. But, like, what are the chances you're going to kill a 2,500 HP hero who's, you know, able to basically two-shot your Mars? Like, it's not happening.
He still has the Aegis, too. I'm surprised that they want to go in and fight on this double silence again with the Soulbind. Okay, a good Nightmare plus a Fiend's Grip. They're going to be able to go and just get rid of the Grimstroke. But they already use... Oh, that's a big ultimate to be using for his support. Rolling Thunder coming through. Beautiful Avalanche coming in as well. So take down Russell. They'll take down Skulls. And they're looking to get themselves a Chaos Knight. And by God, they'll get it. It's a double kill. Followed up with the kill over on Skywrath. The whole team is just dead.
Yep, they didn't even lose the Aegis there. I feel like Pleb is trying to lose it at this point, and it's just not happening. So this is going to be your whole base. That is a Tiny you're up against. Okay, looks like Deboosters, they're going to show some mercy here. Well, Funnick's not.
I mean, it's Funnick. Funnick's got his flamethrower. He's like, let's go, boys. Let's get some damage on this tower.
Yeah, I mean, this Pango, just... What?
Look at that! Look at that beautiful synergy between this team.
I like that he doesn't. I like that he doesn't go for the Skywrath there, right? Like he turns around and realizes that like his team's got the Skywrath dealt with, and if he goes for the CK, that Pleb can actually keep the Aegis alive, and that Pleb can kill the CK. It's just good team fighting. Like whatever the comms are for them, it's resulting in very solid team fighting. Like this looks not even close for Ooreedo. Like they look like they're on another level.
It just feels like they're a little bit more cohesive, where it feels like Ooreedo, I feel like they're scrambling a little bit. And again, these are, you know, some stacks that do just kind of get, I don't want to say slapped together, but, you know, don't necessarily have that synergy going on like some of the teams that we watch during the DPC because they're forced to keep a roster together. But
yeah, these guys definitely have synergy.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
They legit have synergy, which is cool to see. Like it might even be something as simple as like a couple of these guys like party queue together a lot, and so they play these combos just to, you know, for fun. It's like that's honestly enough. Like as long as you've worked on the comms before, that's all you really need to do. And it looks like they have with like how they're playing this.
I mean, that's one of the things, right, that we've kind of been missing a little bit. Like when we look back at qualifiers, back when you know, everything was like an open qualifier to be able to go in, you could change up rosters. I know both of us, especially coming from like the NA and the SA region, are fairly used to seeing familiar names, but seeing like certain groups play together, it reaches a point where you have to be careful though, right? Because there's only so many times you can pull off, I don't want to say cheesy combos because it's not necessarily cheese, it's just well executed. But eventually, you know, these teams, they are going to get wise to it. They're going to be watching your games the further you make it, and they're going to be banning out the heroes that, you know, concern them the most. So you have to have some other things in your pocket.
Yep, sometimes there's a limit to just, you know, stuff that you've like had time to practice with a teammate, you know, based on what's like also strong in the patch. Because sometimes like you have tons of strategies, it's just like they all suck. Funnick,
that is all right. They get the Fiend's Grip off, so they do a little bit of damage, but they end up losing. Oh my God, they're just losing everyone. Pleb is just murdering, ripping through everyone, showing off that BKB. They call GG. They've had enough. It's an ultra kill, and Deboosters are looking very, very strong.
Yeah, they look great. I mean, well, obviously the big play that I think made this game look so good for them was the call to hold that bot tower, as well as the like team fight execution in order to do that.